Santa Claus is going to drop off. Maybe made a new contact. We got one new licensee, which is awesome. That's anybody want to get up on the soapbox and brag a little bit?
Made like 300 Capote contacts in the last 3 weeks.
That's pretty good.
The 10-meter contest this past weekend, and
Got Brazil and Puerto Rico both on 10 meters.
That's good.
So,
That's real good.
I'd say that's
doing pretty good for 10 meters.
That's, yeah. Bill, you had one?
Yeah, 10-meter contest, 586 contests.
Cool.
Wow.
All single sideband.
Wow.
Too much time in the chair.
That's good. Scott, you had one?
I have a new call sign.
Uh-oh. Whoa.
What?
Got a ditch 6. No more AK6Q. So I am NA0MT. North America Zero Mountaintop.
There we go. I love it.
I like the old one better.
You can have it. It's free.
Yeah. Isn't there a waiting period now?
Well, it's free for me.
Wayne, did you have one?
Yeah, I had a 10-meter contact barefoot to Australia
Ooh. Oh,
Saturday afternoon.
very nice.
So,
That's a good one. All right. Anyone else? Last call.
No, but QRP is actually working pretty good right now.
Yeah.
So-
Get on the air.
Yeah.
Especially 10 meter. Brand new technician, you have privileges on 10 meters. So. Oh.
come grab 991, come grab my 100.
we have a solar flux right now. We had 18 flares yesterday, and I don't know
I was listening to you talk about
how
that.
many today. Yeah, the solar flux is like 165 right now, and I think the spot number I think is in the 140s or 150s.
That's pretty good. Well, awesome. Well, with that presentation, Dana, NN0G, has a great presentation lined up on a wonderful system called Node Zero. If you're not familiar with Node Zero, boy, you're going to get some real good education tonight. There's a lot of great features behind Node Zero, and what's neat also is that it's not just amateur radio specific. So I don't want to steal too much thunder out of Dana. So Dana, the floor is yours. Node Red. What did I say? Node Zero? Node Red. It's kind of like you and call signs. It just Node Zero. What is? Where did I get Node Zero from?
Him. He caused it.
Did you? Yeah, Node Red. We're gonna, yeah, Node. It says it right here, Node Red. Did I call it Node? Yeah, Node Red. I missed that. Busted QSO right there.
There you go.
Dana, the floor is yours. I'll give you the microphone.
All right.
Absolutely.
We'll get this queued up. Hopefully, we've had some.
No, just Node Red, not Node Zero.
Oh, that shows you everything. It's not supposed to show everything, but you're going to see everything. So
You're
I'm not
good.
changing it. I think you're good. Am I? Yep. Okay, show me the preview over here. Okay, good. All right. So this is Node Red. All right. So Node Red, pretty cool. I actually started playing with Node Red about this time last year when I heard Scott and Paul talking about doing remote station, and I started listening to some seminars and different things and said, hey, that's kind of cool. And so I've been playing with it for about a year now, and so I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to try to make it simple enough so that you can understand it, and we'll see what happens. All right. What is Node Red? I call it connecting things you own together. I own things. It's IoT is actually Internet of Things, but I own things. Okay? It's easier to remember that way. And basically it's a graphical tool that lets you develop something to talk to your smart devices in your home or not in your home. That could be radios that you're connected directly to, flex radios with network interfaces on it. We have a club member who uses it to manage his pool humidity level. You can just really, if there's a way for you to talk to a device, if you have a device that you talk to using some type of an application, Node Red can probably talk to it. And why would you do that? We'll look at that here in a little bit. So here I have like physically connected or network connected radios, accessories, gadgets, weather stations. There's a bazillion things you can connect to, all right? So what Node-RED is not, okay? Now this came from a comment on the Tuesday Night Net about 2 weeks ago, and someone made a snide remark, inquired and said something about Node-RED, the red-nosed reindeer. So this is Bert, the Node-RED reindeer. And you'll note that he's at the radio station. He's got his glasses on, he's got his headphones on, nice microphone, and drinking some coffee. So this is not what Node-RED is. So Node-RED doesn't interface with this, but I thought it was pretty cute. My son drew that for me. And so, yeah, he did okay for that. Now he wants me to buy him an iPad Pro so he can take it with him and do his drawing when he's walking around or doing something. All right. I bought him a pad last year to do drawing on. So, but I only have one radio. So here's some of the questions that came back, one of the comments that came back when I was sending this out to the board. Right? So give me some feedback. But I'm struggling to understand how it helps an operator with one radio, an antenna, and a computer. Logical question. Very good question. Well, maybe you have an amplifier. Maybe you have a rotor. Maybe you have something else connected to your station. All right? Use case we have Greg, who's not here tonight. He actually uses Node-RED to manage his amplifier and tuner when he's doing operations. And you can actually go so far as to say, hey, when I change to 80 meters, I want you to automatically change the antenna to my 80 meter dipole or whatever I have up, and I want you to turn the power down to 50 watts on my amplifier, and I want you to go from standby to active on my amplifier. And all you have to do is change the frequency on your radio. All right? So repetitive tasks that you do, that you forget things, like me, I do Tuesday nights, I would attend the VHF net, and I'd be playing FT8. And I'd turn my power down to 50 watts. Well, I get up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning to do a CW contest. And I have to turn my power back up. And I'm wondering why Greg can't hear me anymore down in Woodland, or wherever he lives down south. Oh, I forgot to turn my power up. Well, I can program using Node-RED to say, hey, when you go to CW and you're in this contest mode, turn the power up to 200 watts and go. Okay? Or in my case, I have 2 antennas and I have an external antenna switch. I use 2 radios. Okay? So when I go to 80 meters, I want my primary radio on the antenna switch to turn to my end-fed half wave automatically. I don't want to have to reach all the way over here to mash that button. Okay? You can also, if you're an experimenter, you like tinkering with things. What does this button do, right? Remember Dee Dee? Have you ever seen Dexter's Laboratory? Dee Dee, what does this button do? Kicking the tires. You're doing a station automation solution. Okay? You want to learn something new. You're bored. Or you just want to keep your mind busy. There's nothing wrong with that either. Right? There's something here for everybody, or nothing for somebody. Whatever you want to do. It's ham radio. There's a bazillion things we can be doing. Why I use Node-RED, on the left-hand side here, some of you may recall I was talking about buying an amplifier and a tuner. And I decided to make sure I had enough power in my shack. So on the left, I have a smart power switch, and I can actually see how many amps are coming through that into my ham shack. So here, I can see that I'm running 8 amps out of a 15 amp circuit without amplifier. I don't think I have room left, but don't tell my wife that. Okay? Funny thing is, the 5 amp one is my 200 watt FTDX 101 MP. The 8 amps are my 100 watt FTDX10 on an Astron 35M power supply. I don't know why it peaks like that. Half the power. I don't know why, but I have solid numbers. And then on the right-hand side, I did this earlier in the year for our special events. So when we'd make contact, I would go out, query QRZ, and put that person on a map as to who we contacted in what mode. And I put that on a map, and it was kind of a little graphic that I could do. And it was integrated with N1MM. So it actually listens to N1MM, the messages that it sends out. So here's one from a club member, Mike. And this is actually kind of cool. So he uses this for his flex and his stepper IR. So he can see everything about his antenna setup. He can see how much power he's running. He can see how hot his amplifier is. He can see all sorts of stuff on one screen. Okay? He can probably go so far as to actually change the slices, change his stepper configuration, do different things like that. Okay? So this is an example of what you could do with Node-RED. All right? So here's another one. So this is Greg's W0GAS. This is his humidity control solution that he uses. So he actually monitors the humidity in his pool room. He's able to turn on and off fans, heaters. He can do whatever he needs to do in that pool without having to go out there. And on the other page is where he can actually watch his amplifier and his tuner and his radio setup, right? So there's actually 2 pages in his solution. All right. People are falling asleep already. Let's talk about something we know. Who has a radio? Really? Somebody have a radio? What does a radio have? It's got a microphone, right? There's a person, obvious, on the far left. Person hanging on to the microphone. Person presses the button on the microphone. Audio goes into the radio. Radio turns it into RF, goes at the antenna. Got it? Okay. How does that relate to Node-RED? All right. A node, these are terms that you use in Node-RED. A node, it does something. Your microphone does something. It takes your voice and converts it into an electrical signal, and then it sends it down a line or a wire, a cord, to the next node. Microphone connects to the radio. Radio does what? Converts it into RF. Sends it out. The antenna with the coax sends it to the antenna, and off it goes. All right? Greatly simplified, but if you can understand what a node is, what a line is, and what a flow is the whole thing. So a flow would be like your entire radio station. All right? So here we have a flow that has you, the guy with the microphone, mashing the microphone button, goes to the radio, goes to the antenna. Somebody on the other side answers back, comes in through the antenna, goes to the radio, comes out your microphone. That's what the monitor represents. Very, very high level, very overly simplified. Okay? But this can be very confusing for new people. Installing. Yes, the dreaded install a program. So there's a couple of links on how to install Node-RED. I actually did a video. I posted it up on wherever I put it. The link's up there. I think it's that QR code that actually shows you step by step on how to install this on a Raspberry Pi or Ubuntu Linux system. Okay? Literally. You turn your computer, I don't go that silly, but your computer's on, you're logged in. These are the things you need to do to get Node-RED working. Okay? Again, I think it's like 8 minutes long. And it will actually show you how to install this application. I'm going to show you how to install because that's another stumbling point. All right, and then you can install on Windows. It works. I have a Windows box. I fought with it for an hour today, but I figured out what it was. Apparently, you can't leave any spaces in the URL. I don't know what I'm looking at. Why is that box red? I'm like, oh, duh. Okay. But you don't need a dedicated computer to actually install this on. All right, so you can run this on like a laptop if it's connected to your radio, or if it's not connected to anything. All right, so you have some smart devices, light switches or Acosta devices or sprinkler systems or something like that. It doesn't have to be a dedicated computer, it can just be your PC. Or when I was doing the special event station, I actually hosted that on a machine in the cloud. All right, so it sent all that data up to the cloud so that anybody could access it and view those pages. All right, and I use Oracle. Oracle actually has a pretty good forever free plan. All right, you can get on their forever free plan. It's not even a plan. You can get 12 CPUs and 24 gigs of RAM on their ARM platforms. That's 3 Raspberry Pis. All right, plus 2 machines with 1 gig and 1 CPU. That is a lot of compute power that you don't have to pay for. But you do have to learn how to use the cloud, which isn't that hard. Ask, I'll show you. It's not that hard. Other people in here can show you also. All right? So here's what I want to show you. So I built this application just for the club members. So this is a Node-RED application. And what it will do on one page, it goes and actually queries the POTA site, and it displays the current POTA spots by band and by mode on a map. I just didn't see anybody else doing that. I wanted to do that. Okay? What's that? And you could just click on it, it will tell you where they're at, hopefully. The second thing I did was, on the second map, is actually mapped the location of the nodes connected to our All-Star hubs. All right? Not the bubble map, which tells me nothing, all right? But actually where that node is registered, the lat and lon, where that guy is registered at. And I've seen people in Australia, New Zealand, right? Anybody we know down there? North Carolina, Virginia. I've seen all sorts of people connected in here, right? It's just kind of neat, right? And I know that we're working on some stuff earlier today with DMR and some other stuff. Probably extend this out and build a whole dashboard that shows the entire PRA radio network on a single page. Okay? I'm not doing it. Well, I might. Because I was looking at it, I was like, I don't know how you could do that. I don't have time now. All right. So how are we going to do this? Jeff, hopefully the demo gods will be in our favor. He knows what demo gods are because they will blow up anything. All right? So I'm going to try to show you how to install a Node-RED application. And I'm going to show you the things that's going to drive you nuts the first couple times you try to do it. You'll install it and it'll say, I can't find this. I'll show you how to fix that. Okay? So let's see what happens when we do this. All right? Because I love stupid computers, and stupid computers love me. And all right, so I'm going to do this on, I know you're not going to be able to see it, but sorry. Want me to turn it so they might be able to see it? Well, that didn't go away. Why didn't that go away? Oh, that's you. Why is that not showing? Oh, there we go. That's not what I wanted. You know, there's one thing I hate about computers. Well, there's a lot of things I hate about computers. But one is the stupid touchpads. I'd like to find the guy that created those things. Windows 11 breaks Logitech mice too. But we'll figure it out. All right, so I've already installed Node-RED here. I'm not going to go through that because it'll bore you to tears. All right. So we're going to log in here. We're going to connect. All right. This is a brand new install. I haven't done anything to this yet. Okay? Well, I did. I did some demo magic in the background. But that's beside the point, all right? The script that installs it on the Raspberry Pis does what I changed, okay? So we're not going to do anything here. So we're going to clone a repository. So I have this out on the internet so you can get to it, all right? And it's a place called GitHub. GitHub, right? You can't order food from GitHub. You can put stuff in GitHub, and you can get stuff out of GitHub. It don't deliver, okay? So we're going to get something from GitHub, and this is out in the cloud. And as you go through this, first off, I'm going to clone a repository. This is out on GitHub, all right? So we're going to clone a repository. And the first thing I'm going to ask you for is your GitHub username. Don't worry about it. If you don't have it, you don't need it. And if you have it, you know what it is. Okay? So we're not going to change anything there. Woo! Look at that. All right, we're going to name it. I'm going to... So I actually have this in a file. And these directions are on the in the PRA forum site under ham builds or something like that. So the detailed instructions are there, okay? And it tells you what we have to install, tells you how to it tells you everything, all right? All right. So I don't have any credentials, any passwords on this clone project. See if it works on this. And this is what you're going to see if you download Node-RED flows from a site I'm going to show you later on. It's going to say, I have no idea what types of these are. All right? I guarantee you're going to see this on every single one of those flows that you download and try to run. All right? That's okay. I'm going to show you how to fix it. All right? So if you look here, it's telling you, like, I need SQL database, and I need this, and I need that. It's listed on my cheat sheet, so you don't have to remember it all. All right? So we're going to come over here, and we're going to fix that problem. You come down here where it says Manage Palette. So this is where we're going to tell it to install these missing nodes. All right? Remember, a node does something. All right? So we're going to go to Manage Palette. We're going to install, I think 5 of them. We're going to install World Map, because that does the map picture. Okay? So we're going to install that. This goes pretty quick, actually. Well, it did when I tried. Well, it would go faster if I would not change the page on myself. We're going to do dashboard. If I can learn how to spell dashboard. All right, install that. Again, I'm just trying to show you how to resolve those issues when they pop up, and they will. All right. Come on, thing, get out of the way. We're going to install iframe.
What's iframe?
It's actually where we can take one page, one web page, and actually embed it in another page. Good question. And SQLite is a lightweight SQL engine. So what I do is, because if you look up an all-star node, by node number, it doesn't give you the lat long. So you have to go somewhere else to find it. So when I start the program, I actually go to the all-star page, and I download all the nodes. And that first download has their lat long and other information in it, and then I just put that in a database, so I don't have to look it up again. That's all. And it saves it to your computer, to your hard drive. All right. And string. And you don't necessarily need to know what SQL is. Most of these flows will work without you having any knowledge. It's just when you try to troubleshoot it. Ask for help if you don't want to try to figure it out, or you're just stuck. All right. All right. So I'm going to deploy this. So every time you make a change, you want to deploy it. Now I'm going to deploy it. It's going to come back and say I have some misconfigured nodes. All right. Again, common. Oh, that's going to work. What do you know? No, it didn't. Is it saying that it doesn't have SQLite? It is. So it said, hey, you big dummy, you forgot to put SQLite in there. All right, it's already installed. All right, why is this not working? Oh, there it is. I just had to refresh it. So this was the node it was complaining about. All right. So apparently it's going to work the first time. But usually it will come up in this. It's going to say I have some misconfigured nodes. And I was going to show you how to find those, but it just magically worked. And I don't know why, because I deleted this directory earlier and it shouldn't work. That's a demo God thing. All right. But it's in the video. All right. I show you how to fix it in the video. All right. So now that we have this built, let's go over to, and you need to go, if you look up here, so I'm running it on my local computer. And so if you look on the very top here, it says HTTP. It's not, it doesn't have like, it's not secure. And then it's like localhost : 1880. So you need to put that in, and it will actually, I tell you that in the video. So this is the main admin page. So we're going to go to the UI, the actual where the map is built, all right, where it's being displayed. All right, let's go down here and see what we got. Yeah, there is a piece that's broke. It's not there. That's fine. What it's supposed to have on top, up where it says POTA spots, on that top bar, is actually supposed to have an indicator if there's lightning within 25 kilometers, and it will actually tell you that there's audio that will come out. So I don't know why it's working. I'll look at it in a minute. So these are the current POTA spots. So here we have by band. So you have Hawaii. He's on FT8. You have this guy's on FT8 on 80 meters. He's on 40. So he's on 20s, he's sideband. And over here it's by mode, all right? So different colors for different modes, all right? So that's the first page. Whoops. And you asked earlier what an iframe is. So what I have in the back, I actually have 3 web pages that I'm building in the back end, and I just put those in here, all right? 2 of them on this page, and then 1 on the next page. All right, and here's your all-star nodes. All right. So if we zoom in, you can actually click on it. Oh, there's the lightning thing. Just took a minute. And it gives you the call sign and where their registered lat lon is. Okay. And I think we actually have somebody out east somewhere. I think Jeff is on here. It was shown there a second ago. There he is.
So if you're connected to the PRA All-Star Hub, will you show up on that
Yep.
map?
Yep. Most of them, unless you have some weird thing that doesn't have a lat lon, or I can't find it in the database because it's some weird XLS 720 node. Okay, I'll figure that one out.
That's a cloud node.
I know what it is. I found it. I just didn't have time to figure out how to use it. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. And again, this is available for everybody in the club. I wrote this for you guys specifically for this presentation. And again, well, I just want to point out the lightning thing on the top bar. I have not personally tested it. I took it from somebody else's flow, but they claim it works. And I think it polls it every minute and says, I can't remember how it works. It might just actually be real time. So if there's a lightning strike within 25 kilometers of Park Meadows Mall, is where I have it centered on, it's going to change to, I think, red, and it's going to do some voice thing and say, hey, the sky is falling, okay? And what could you do with that, right? If you know you have lightning within 25 kilometers, you can actually automate that. You can shut your station down. You can disconnect antennas. You can disconnect power. So all the things that you do when there's lightning or you hear thunder, you can automate. That's what Node-RED can do for you. Yes, sir.
Does this have an application for your basic Pi stars for DMR and All-Star? Could you control your All-Star node with it? Like Supermon?
Yes, but not right out of the box.
You have to do some work. You have to develop. It's not out of the box. Yeah, agreed. So the problem with All-Star is that image is kind of hardened, and it doesn't allow you to really install Node-RED. So you have to kind of like reach out and say, hey, you know, whatever that Mon is, what is it, the monitor, Supermon? You have to browse and hit that Supermon page and scrape stuff off of there. That's one way. So I just haven't thought about it that much, but it's a good question.
What's the code it's creating on the back end?
Oh, good question. What's that code is creating? That black stuff?
No, as in what's the code?
Oh,
Is it doing a
it's doing its JavaScript. I'll talk about it in a minute. Yep. So these are actually debug commands. I forgot to clean them up. So, but these are JavaScript. And if you don't know JavaScript, I'll show you how to learn it. Okay. So it runs on Node-RED, and Node.js is actually JavaScript. All right, question?
So is this the flow for the All-Star map?
Mm-hmm. So on this one, I actually have, there's 5 flows on here that I have. I break them apart so that it helps me diagnose it and put it together. So on this first one, I create the database. I actually go and populate it. I go pull the information from the All-Star page. And then the second page, I'll get the node status. I'll go and do some stuff. Here I have it's one of the maps I created. And this is the lightning flow that I imported. And this is the POTA flow that I built that actually goes out and gets the POTA stuff. So I break them in different parts, so it makes it easier for me to say, oh, the POTA's broke. I'll go look on this page and I can figure out where it's broke at. That's how I do it.
So Dana, on your lightning, what's it doing right now?
Right now it's polling about every 60 seconds. It's got what's called it's actually connected constantly to this European station. It's called, whatever it said, Bliss. Yeah, that's what he said. So it actually pulls that information from there, and once it detects a strike within 25 kilometers, it will do something based on the logic within the flow. Yep. So, what's that? All right, let's go back to question, comment? No? All right. Well, everything worked, surprisingly, for a demo in a public library. What can go wrong? So, some resources that are available to you. The first one would be this group's I/O page. These guys, the members of this Node-RED ham radio group's I/O page, only thing they do is ham radio related stuff. You'll have 5 to 10 postings on there a day. If you post something on there, you're going to get an answer, usually within an hour. And if it's mostly complex, there's a couple of guys that will actually say, hey, let's do a Zoom session, let's make it work. Okay? Very helpful group of people out there. All right? Read the fine manual, read the free manual, or read the other manual. Read the manual. Jeff's laughing at me. If you want a specific node to get started with, here's actually a list of some of what's available today. There's actually an APRS one. There's a WSJTX one on there. There's a Flex one on there. The Flex one is actually constantly being fixed because most of the guys on that group's I/O channel, they're just Flex fanatics. Okay? And then, of course, YouTube. That at Node-RED, I think that's the guy who actually wrote it. He's the authority. All right. Now, if you go into that Node-RED group and you register, you actually will have access to flows that members have contributed. And there's a boatload of them up there. You have, on the right-hand side, you have amplifiers, antennas, you have radios, relays, rotors, all sorts of things that you can use to get started with. Some of them actually work. Most of them work sometimes, or they might work.
Like plugins?
These are flows you can plug in. If you have a flex radio and you suck that flex radio, one of those down, and you configure it, it'll start talking to your flex radio and you'll be able to do stuff. All right. He also has a series of tutorials on there that's available. And then, question earlier, what's the code underneath? If you want to learn the code, it's JavaScript. And you can use Udemy. Udemy has really good classes for like $13 is what the current price is. But you have those classes forever, and you can ask questions. And the other one is the W3 schools. All right, those are free tutorials, or you can ask for help. Again, the guys on the Groups.io page, you can ask for help within the group. There's a few of us that know how to do it. There's more than a few of us that know how to use JavaScript. And does anybody know what this character is in the bottom left-hand corner? It's a Gritch. All right? Okay, I'm not going to say where I got the reference from, but it is a club member. Okay? And it's Gritch approved because this particular club member loves JavaScript. No, he doesn't. Okay? All right, but this is some of the code I have in there that basically changes the color based on what band I'm in. Right? And that's pretty much it. So I'm right on target where I wanted to be, 3 hours and 47 minutes. No, actually. Greg helped a bunch. Mike helped a bunch. Thanks, both of them, for contributing. Thanks for everybody else that contributed and provided some feedback during this process of trying to make this a usable presentation that hopefully somebody learned something from. So, all righty. Any questions?
Do they have uses outside of ham?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can use the pool is one.
Automation is what I'm thinking.
A home automation, like home automation assistant, home assistant. Yeah, it's actually there's a node for home assistant, so you can actually plug into those. The Casa power devices you get at Best Buy, there's a flow you can start working with those. That's what I use to gather the power. Camera systems, all sorts of things. If you want to put a smart switch in your kid's bedroom and turn off the light when it's time for bed, you can do that too. I'm serious. If there's an app that talks to it, you can talk to it with Node-RED. All right? Any other questions? There was another one.
So, on the, I guess the drawing board, where you're putting out the nodes and the lines, filter flow, is it creating the code behind it to do what you're telling it to do through that? So,
Yes.
so you can actually build the flow without actually getting in to do any programming?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So at what point would you then start trying to go in and tinker with programming?
When you wanted to actually do something you wanted to happen. The nodes are very generic.
Okay.
All right? So when you want to start doing specific things, that's when you have to start digging in a little bit.
So does it become a part of that node, the programming?
It becomes part of the entire flow. So when you export it, so you can save it, so I just saved it as a file.
Yeah.
And all those settings and all those wires and all those, everything is in that big package.
Yeah.
And when you import it, it actually connects everything back up and puts everything where it's supposed to be. Yep.
So I have a kind of a secondhand testimonial about this. My friend Paul NO0T has a Palstar LA1K amplifier. I don't know if you know what that is. It's a very nice HF amplifier. Palstar is a good company. However, they do not have any kind of software application for running that amplifier. They don't offer anything on their website, you know, download or anything else. But the amplifier has a diagnostic port on the back, an RS-232 port on the back. And he was able to contact Palstar, and they sent him the commands for, you know, exercising things on a diagnostic port. And from that, using Node-RED, he was able to build a whole front panel, software front panel for running his amplifier. And he did all this without, you know, any actual programming. And yes, by the way, he got help from the groups.io folks that Dana mentioned. But he's now able to run his amplifier remotely because he's got a software, you know, application for it. And there was really no other way to do it.
So I'm actually working on an application to talk to my Yaesu radios, like remote application, remote control. So I have to build that entire thing up for the Yaesu radio because there's no flows out there to do it. Any other questions? Last call. If you have any questions or need help or want to get started, please don't be afraid to reach out. My email is in the directory. It's dgerch@GMU Research or nn0g@arl.net, or hey Dana on the repeater, or hey that guy at lunch. All right. I respond well at lunch after you buy, you know.
Thanks, Dana.
Scott, go ahead.
I think we've got Dana's cheat sheet is going to be on the web somewhere, so for all the resources stuff, it's going to be posted up.
The web's already there,
Yeah.
the directions are already there, and this will get posted eventually. Friday night.
In the forums.
In the forums.
Yeah.
Yeah, forums.
Well, Dana, great job on Node-RED, not Node-0, Node-RED. Certainly just some absolutely cool technology that's out there, and you know, to be able to have that level of control and that level of access to data within your shack, I think is just absolutely fascinating. And I want to give a shout out also to Dana on this as well. I mean, Dana's been with the club now a couple years, and this is just a prime example of memberships giving back, and being able to present to the PRA is something pretty special. So giving up some time and talent to pass along some treasures that you learn along the way is something very special. So Dana, thanks again. Great job. We're going to dive into kind of the meat and potatoes of the meeting here. The first thing we're going to start with is just setting the stage for 2023. We have a really, really exciting year coming up within the PRA. We have a boatload of activities that are coming up. We have a great field day that's planned. We have some special events that are coming up, not only with Pedaling for Parkinson's, but presumably you'll be doing some things with Wings Over the Rockies. Paul gave a great intro at the start of the meeting as it related to nets and what we're doing. And Randy actually summed it up pretty well. When the board met a couple months ago, we meet each month, but a couple months ago, Randy brought up, he said, you know what, and he actually took it from one of the newest members when we asked, why did you join the PRA? And the new member put, you all do stuff. And Randy just took that and ran with it and said, you know what, we're going to be the club that we do stuff. And that is something we're going to continue to promote throughout 2023. So we got some really exciting things going. I'd like to turn it over maybe to some of my fellow board members if they'd like to opine for a couple minutes on what they see for 2023. Paul, go ahead.
Well, just briefly, we have almost every month, we have a presentation every month already lined up for our face-to-face meetings. Some really, really cool topics, Dan.
Yeah.
Stuff that members have asked for, and we also have portable deployments. Mm-hmm. We have 2 field days.
Yes.
We have at least 1 or 2 events like Pedaling for Parkinson's. Mm-hmm. You've asked for more of that. We're going to try to give you more of that. Elmer Night is just, Brad's not here tonight. Maybe I'll throw that over to Scott. We had a great year with regard to the Elmer night and Elmer committee for 2022, but it's going to be so much better for 2023. Let Scott take that away, because that's amazing what we're getting ready to do.
Yeah, so I will steal Brad's thunder because he's not here, so I get to do that. But Jerry is here, so maybe Jerry could be a part of this too and answer some questions. Jerry has joined the Elmer co-chair position, and he's been helping out immensely this last year, and stand by. You guys got a plate full this year.
We do.
So the Elmer committee got together at the board's request and put together some topics, not necessarily in order, of what they would like to see that they could accomplish and do through Elmer Night and Elmering, which is a huge part of what we want to do. And everybody in this room has something they can Elmer on or gain from an Elmer meeting, both. So with that, the Elmer committee threw a bunch of topics out, and Randy and Paul and I sat down and hammered out the face-to-face calendar that correlated to a lot of those topics that were brought up, because they're getting feedback from you, the members, directly. And so the Elmer Night and the face-to-face are going to correlate very closely one-to-one. There will still be opportunity at Elmer Nights for open forum, as we call it, unformatted, bring your questions. There's going to be a piece of that, but there's also going to be a piece that correlates to the monthly face-to-face meeting. So it'll be kind of a dual-purpose Elmer Night meeting, because those topics were so great, and we wanted to include them in face-to-face and then build off of them. In the Elmer committee, last year we built the antenna, and we built two antennas, an infed, and we built the
tape measure.
40 Yagi. And in doing that, keeping with that theme, the Elmer committee did a great job putting all of those parts together. We're going to task them again with doing more. We're going to do some more builds. Those are forthcoming. The Elmer committee doesn't have the board's face-to-face stuff that we've put together yet. That's coming back to you because we're finalizing it. But we'll build. There are many, many opportunities for different builds and that type of thing in Elmer Night. So, yeah, that's some of what is going on. We do stuff. That's
right. And when it comes down to, for those that are not familiar with the term Elmer or Elmering, Elmer is kind of like a ham radio mentor. I've been licensed 30 years, and every Elmer Night that I go to, I learn something here. It is something very, very special and very unique. If you haven't been to one, give yourself the opportunity to check one out. And at the same time, too, be an Elmer for somebody else. I mean, we have new hams and new members coming in. And one of the things that every one of us has gone through as a new ham radio operator coming into a new club, every single one of us has walked in that door for the first time. And we know how maybe sometimes intimidating, awkward, nobody's talking to me, can come into play. That's not happening here. And that's, not only do we promote some good communication and obviously introduction at our meetings, but you really, really get your feet wet at Elmer Night as a new member and as a new ham, because you're going to make connections, you're going to learn, and it is a stress-free atmosphere. You can ask any question. You don't want to be that person in the room going, oh, I don't want to ask that question, they're going to think I'm stupid. You can save that, but bring it to Elmer Night, because you're going to be surrounded by people who are just going to put their arms around you and say, we got you, we're going to get you covered on this. Bill, did you have something? No? Oh, okay, sorry about that.
Some of the topics, we're going to do a Mark on the Air event. We're going to do a couple Summits on the Air event. We're going to spend a whole month talking about solar and how to build a solar station at your QTH. Cool. We're going to have our the gentleman from Northcom military come in and spend a whole night working with us and talking about automatic link command. And he's from Northcom in Colorado Springs. If you're familiar with the 60 meter band, where once a year amateurs can talk to military operators, he designed the entire program, guided and approved by the military and the FCC. Smart guy, he's been in here before. I can go on and on, Dan, but we have stuff every month, exciting stuff. So I would encourage you to look at the blast on Sunday. Here in a couple of weeks, we're going to put the schedule out for the whole year.
And it'll be on the website.
And it'll be on the website as well. And so you can take a look at everything. You're not going to want to pick one or the other. You're going to want to come to all of them.
Yeah.
Right? And
Absolutely.
and maybe we're going to have a new event for our, we've been doing Signal Butte. We're going to go to a new location this year.
Nice.
And we're going to have another parking lot safari where we all show up in a parking lot. We bring all of our equipment and incorporate a swap meet in that as well. We have a site now that we can
Cool.
use. More stuff than I can talk about here in the next
All
few
right.
minutes, so I'm not going to. But exciting stuff for 2023, and we're excited that you're here tonight, and we're excited for everybody watching online as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, we definitely want you here. Obviously, your cheeks are in the seats tonight. We got probably a pretty good amount of people online as well tonight. But come to these events, participate in them, just show up. You'll be amazed at certainly what can happen at some of these. So again, some great things happening in 2023. I'm going to move along here in the agenda. One topic that is in the weekly blast that has been, the board is actually entertaining nominations for the PRA Ham of the Year for 2022. So you have a couple more weeks to get that in. So please get that in. It comes out on the weekly email blast. Get your vote in, name the person, and just tell us why. And the board has been collecting some of those nominations already, but we need more. So get on there, get those updated, and nominate someone. You never know what kind of impact that makes for one of your fellow hams. So, and we got a pretty good award that will be going out to the inaugural 2022 PRA Ham of the Year. So please get those nominations in. Jeff, throw it over to you. Repeater committee, anything you'd like to jump on for a couple minutes?
So first thing is, I'll make a correction to something that was said earlier. Wayne and I are not getting the digital repeaters back up and running. Wayne is getting the digital repeaters back up. Sorry. Dirk is getting.
That's delegation at its best.
I'm trying to give you some more credit.
No, and I like credit, but I didn't earn that credit. The other thing is, this isn't exactly a secret, but we haven't actually said it out loud yet. Wayne has agreed to take over running the repeater committee for us. So Wayne is heretofore and so forth our head of the repeater committee. And Dirk, because he doesn't have enough to do already, has agreed to help out with the repeater committee as well. So this is good. There are plans in place and work going on to get all the digital repeaters put back together again the way they used to be, only maybe this time they'll work all the time and not require continuous maintenance, we're hoping. We're discussing the possibility of also tying it in with the analog repeaters, so maybe sometimes, maybe all the time, we can tie all the repeaters together, so whether you come in analog, FM, DMR, D-Star, Fusion, whatever, we're all one big happy family, everybody can talk. There's all sorts of great things going on. But Wayne is the man now. Get all that. Well, and Dirk is the man.
Anything you want to see on the progress, you can look on XLX 720.parkerradio.org, and it's labeled where everything is tied with the D-Star repeater, and we were even testing the All-Star link from DMR, as he mentioned today. So it's moving along quickly.
Nice.
But there's enormous amounts of work going on the repeater side of the world. So thank you, Wayne. Yep, thank you, Dirk.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Hey,
Wow.
all I do is talk about it.
Well, somebody's got to do that.
Somebody's got to.
Well, again, it's a testament not only to these gentlemen, but for the membership as well. And I think these guys saw and had the passion not only for the PRA but for amateur radio as well. So Wayne, Dirk, thank you for throwing your hat into the ring to say, yeah, we can absolutely help out with that. And I think that goes a long way. You got anything cool up there? Oh, not yet. Okay. So any questions for Jeff or the repeater committee? Robert?
No, I was going to bring up item C up there. We kind of skipped over it.
Oh, we'll get there.
Okay.
Yep, I'm going to go back to it. All right, item C. Scott. NA0NT.
There it is.
I got to get used to saying that.
Let's see, so grant pursuit status. It started out with doing some kind of MCOM, first a vehicle, then it morphed into a trailer, and a group of us sat down and hammered out for several hours some of the details of what that would entail. And the grand scheme of things, to do it the PRA way, which is the right way, not on a shoestring, not with Band-Aids and baling wire, but to really do it right. Moved away from the vehicle concept because it was stupid expensive, and learned real quick that a trailer was also stupid expensive. To do it, and this is not, you know, showcase top shelf, but it is definitely varsity put together, and that was an $85,000 project.
Nice. The 40-foot retractable tower,
That is
right?
a 20-foot trailer with a pneumatic tower and
Nice.
2 radios in it. However, the grant money is there. It's a matter of writing a grant and going after that grant. But really, that's the easy part. The hard part being, who wants to hook their vehicle onto an $80,000 trailer and tow it and put it somewhere? How many volunteers do I have? It starts getting thin. Right. So with that, we've moved away from the grant project right now. It's still available. It's just been shelved for a bit because we, the board, are spread a little thin on many projects going on. So we're going to shelve that one for a little bit and see where it goes. We do have the remote station that grant may be altered into. We're working with the remote committee to see what direction they're going, and forthcoming some information from them, we can make some decisions. So that's where status is.
Sounds good. Any questions for Scott? NA0NT.
There it is. Stick.
It's sticking. All right. Thank you, Scott. Good stuff there. Randy, Fox Hunt.
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank Glenn for bringing this candy in the back, so if anybody's hungry, I already eat it, so I don't need it because I keep nibbling at it. Did everybody see my email last week that went out about a fox hunt last weekend?
Yeah.
You did? Okay. And everybody was tied up?
Literally.
They just said, "Well, you're on the pole." Yeah, it was just kind of a spur of the moment thing, just to see if anybody had interest. And if we could have got a couple people volunteering, they had a 50% chance of finding the thing and getting a radio. So, and this is my own thing. This is not a club function necessarily. It's my own thing. I got the radios and throwing them out there it's a lot of fun. So we'll do that probably in January sometime, maybe at the field day in January. Depending on where we are. It doesn't really matter where we are, but we'll do something like that there. Everybody knows the fox hunt? New guys? Okay. We have kits available to build some Yankee antennas. They're, what, 15, 20 bucks? 15 bucks. If you want to build one. We did build them in Elmernite.
Paul will sell you one for 20.
Yeah.
What's the inflation
So see Paul. And then offer 15. So at any rate, we're going to be doing another one of those. But at any rate, they're a lot of fun. We'll probably do one at Field Day in June. I won't be there, but there'll be something.
That'll be a good project for Field Day.
Yeah, and we still have more left, so that might be something to do. We're always looking for volunteers for things. I mean, honestly, jump in. It's fun. I just kind of do stuff. I offered my trailer up as a temporary trailer for everybody. It's kind of set up as an HF station and some other things. I carry around all the PRA stuff in my trailer. It's not the club trailer, but in anticipation of maybe another big trailer for the club. That's going to be the MCOM 1 trailer. I have the MCOM 2 trailer. So I don't know, I can't think of anything else other than, honestly, we are looking for volunteers. And that includes everybody that's on YouTube. You know, jump in, it's your club, so let's do something, let's make it better. We're
'Cause we
always
do
looking
stuff.
for new ideas, and certainly new events, and that brings up another thing, the events, which we don't have up there, do we? Doesn't really matter. Special events, we can always throw in some other things. We're gonna do some stuff at Wings Over the Rockies this year, at least 2, maybe 3 events, depending upon what's going on there. Those are great. We always need volunteers for that. Come out, jump on the radio, talk to people about radios. There are people always coming up to, you know, hey, what's this all about? You know, while they're looking at airplanes. So it's a lot of fun. I don't know. We'll figure out some things. Anybody has any ideas though about some location? I was going to try and check on Parker Days. We'll see what that's all about. As long as we don't have to spend any money for that. We are a club. We're a 501c3, but they want a lot of money. At any rate, any questions? God, I love this.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
All right, thanks,
All right.
Randy.
And I'm going to eat some more candy.
Yeah, there we go. Portable deployments and Winter Field Day, Paul.
Just real quick, January the 28th, we're going to be having our Winter Field Day event. We're hoping to have it at Stan's house in Zero KKY, but we haven't confirmed that completely. So plan on the 28th. We will be deploying somewhere to operate that day for Winter Field Day. And I noticed ARRL is kind of on board with that group this year as well. So it's going to be fantastic. If we do it at Stan's place, we have room for 40 or 50, 60 people, and we'll do some type of grill. Everybody bring their own food type thing. So anyway, but mark the 28th of January on your calendar, and we'll get something out to everybody here in another week or so.
Excellent. Thank you, Paul. Randy brought up something. It kind of was a good segue. Year of the Volunteer. So the ARRL in 2023 is promoting this coming year, the Year of the Volunteer, and what their aspect behind promotion behind it is for amateur radio operators to get active, and part of that in getting active is not only being part of a club, but also getting on the air. But also volunteering. Maybe you had interest in becoming a VE. This is a great year to get involved and maybe become a volunteer examiner. Maybe some of the club activities that we talked about, the Elmering night, the POTA activities, things like that. But one of the special things that the ARRL will be doing throughout 2023, very similar to the Centennial event, that there's going to be a year-long on-the-air event where each state will operate as W1AW/0, which we would do here, and that's going to take place at least twice over 2 different weekends throughout the year. So there'll be information coming out on that. You may have an opportunity to actually operate as W1AW/0. So keep an eye out on your email blasts. There may be some more information coming out on that. But just a great year-long special event where the logbooks actually get submitted back to the ARRL for whoever's operating that special event. And there's points that get accumulated as well. So you'll be able to see a running tab of who's contacted all the W1AW stations throughout the country. So some neat stuff coming up through this year at the league level. So any questions there? And again, when it comes down to volunteerism, it doesn't have to be anything that moves mountains. We had talked about earlier, sign up for 1 net a year. Be a net control operator just once in 2023. We have 265 members, and if everybody did it once, boy, we'd have a lot more nets. But at the same time, too, we need your help and your support on that. So make 2023 a good ham radio resolution year for yourself. One way to support the PRA is through Amazon Smile, which I'm kind of going crazy with right now, and some of the last-minute gift shopping. So if you are an Amazon customer, if you use Amazon Smile and you haven't selected a charity of choice, please select the Parker Radio Association. We get a little kickback quarterly from Amazon. Your prices don't change at all. It comes out of Amazon's end. We usually get, 100, 110, maybe sometimes 125 bucks a quarter back from Amazon. So just a little bit goes a long way there. And also share that with your friends and family also. Same thing with King Soopers. King Soopers has a community rewards program. So if you have not selected a charity of choice for King Soopers Community Awards, Parker Radio Association is listed there. So when you go into King Soopers website and you sign into your King Soopers account, along the left-hand side, you'll see a tab for community rewards, and you can select a 501c3 charity, which the PRA is. We ask for your support there as well. And if you have any family members across the country that may be tied in with Kroger, same thing applies there. We're also listed with Kroger nationally as well. So again, a little bit goes a long way, and we get a pretty good amount back quarterly from King Soopers. So we certainly thank them for that program as well. Moving right along here, we'll get into anybody who can represent the Remote Station Initiative. We have no one here tonight.
I think right now, the big thing is finding a location.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they had a couple of spots that were possibilities. I'm not sure if we ever got the site surveys done.
One has been done for sure, because I was part of that.
Okay.
There was supposed to be a second one being done here in the last few weeks.
Okay.
So I
Well,
think
some
that's kind of where
follow-up
we're
on
at.
that. Okay.
Once we acquire a site, then we can start talking what we're going to put where and how we're going to get it there. But site has to come first. So
Sounds good. Well, that makes sense. Jeff, anything on the website you'd like to update us on?
Really, there's no particular new developments. I just want to once again thank Mr. Karpinski for stepping up to maintain the old site until we switch over to the new one.
Mm-hmm.
He knows it like nobody else since he rewrote about half of it. So yet again, even from the East Coast, he's contributing to the
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yay, Jeff. Yes, Wayne.
Well, I'm in on that too.
Yes.
Kudos to Wayne, by the way.
We're doing a lot of mitigation of outside attacks to the site. That was making it slow. It's getting much better now, and the site's getting more responsive and better.
Excellent.
And if there's any issues, please let us know if you see any, so we can get on them sooner than later.
Yeah, you see something, say something.
Yeah, just let us know.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, thanks for your help on that, gentlemen. Great job. Robert, PRA shirts, I know you mentioned it earlier. Do you want to remind everyone?
On the table over here, the remaining shirts, these are from the order I placed back in October. So if you had an order outstanding up to that point, your shirt's back here. Next order for shirts, big order, will be in March. Next year, we usually order twice a year. I do have some spare short sleeves, primarily in the Ashbury and the sand. So if you'd like to order something now, if it's long as it's a short sleeve and the Ashbury or sand, just shoot me an email and make sure I got the particular size you want in stock, the combination that you want. Now I'll let you know what size and place the order. So
Excellent.
that's what we are on the shirts.
All right, good segue into the financials.
Financials.
All right.
We did get a Amazon Smile payment last month, in November, toward the end of the month. It was $97, so that helps some. That's $428 for the year from Amazon. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same stuff. The big expense for this month was the shirts. As the PRA here vendor payments, that's $654 there. That's where we are so far. All the committees still have money. Allocations are there. Of course, Board will be finalizing budgets coming up soon for those.
Absolutely. So for those of you who are in a committee right now, so whether it be Field Day or the website committee, repeater committee, Elmer committee, etc., if you have any specific requests or know that, hey, we're going to be doing this next year, make sure you let the board know, board@parkerradio.org. Let us know the dollar amount and what it's for, and we want to make sure that we can continue to allocate funds appropriately. Again, we're we're not a bank. We don't want to be a bank. We want to make sure that these assets, including our cash, are being used to further enhance and promote amateur radio, particularly here in the Front Range of Colorado. So any questions on our financial status?
Dan, did you want to mention the insurance from last month?
We can, yeah. So, yes. So we actually did. So there's two types of insurance that we carry as an organization. One is liability insurance for obvious reasons. The second one that the board decided to do is we did an inventory of all of our assets, and came to find out was like we got a lot of stuff, and because we do stuff, which is really nice. And as a part of that, we thought, you know what, it's about time we protect those assets through an insurance program. So everything from our repeaters to the repeater controllers to the HF rigs that we have out on loaners. What else do we have in there? Antennas, coax. I mean, because we're not just using RG58, duplexers, filters. The list goes on and on and on. And those assets were, I think we calculated somewhere around the $20,000 to $25,000 range that we have all together. So for a whopping $314 for the year through the ARRL insurance, we now have those insured, which is important. So that's what those insurance expenses are. So the first $200 one is our liability. $314 goes towards equipment insurance for the PRA. Yes, Dane?
Do you know how much liability we have?
I do. I just don't have it off the top of my head. Yep. I'd have to pull the certificate. Yep.
I got some more things to add.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was eating too much candy.
Sugar rush.
And I was thinking about all the stuff we do. And we do stuff. Just
We
like
do stuff. That's right.
Couple things. We got name tags we're working on right now because some of the new people don't have name tags. We should have a sample pretty soon for approval. And yeah, we can make those at every meeting if necessary. And once that comes out, we'll
closing in 20 minutes.
Yeah, whatever. At any rate, we're going to have those here pretty soon. So hang on to the name tags and we'll be there soon. Let's see. I don't do public speaking very well because I always forget stuff. Everybody programmed on their UHF, VHF radios. Everybody got their frequencies in. Nobody, you don't. Okay? That's where Elmer Night comes in.
Yes.
You want to bring your radio in, you can get it programmed. I put a list back here on our frequencies. If you want to try it yourself, they're right there. Please feel free to take one. There's also a band plan, which you should probably have already seen that. It was in the book. So anything like that. And the third thing I had, I forgot.
Yeah, and if you need help programming your radio, please let us know. We want to be able to help you with that. We have members sometimes that aren't at meetings that have amazing files and code plugs already built. So not only is it just a here you go and dump it into your radio, we want to be able to walk you through, teach you how to do it, not only through the software, but the old school way as well, to be able to save a memory right into the radio on the fly.
And the third one is up before the end of the year, we'll have a GMRS repeater up for testing. So if you have a GMRS radio, look for the Sunday Blast.
And a license.
Well, yeah, you gotta have a license. Well, you can listen. Turn your power down and actually talk on FRS channels if you really want to. But if you have a GMRS radio. What's something else?
Dane had something, maybe
No,
go.
I forgot.
No? Okay.
It slipped away.
Man, it must be on that side of the room.
Yeah, right.
It said chocolate.
It's all that sugar.
Go ahead, Cameron.
Cameron.
So, two things. One, I've got 3 radios sitting at my house. So, if you want to get on 10 meters, come by. We'll get you signed up. We'll get it out. So, if they don't collect us, I've got 1 antenna, so I can only use 1 radio at a time. So, don't let them collect dust, because I can only do so much.
So what Cameron's mentioning, we have 3 HF radios that belong to the PRA. They are our loaner radios. So if you're a PRA member, you can take out some of the latest HF radios on loan and try them out. You get the radio, headsets, microphone, power supply, everything but the...
Coax.
No, we do have the antenna, everything but the coax.
Which I can go by and we can, if you guys want me to, and we can just figure out how to reimburse
You
it.
gotta talk to the treasurer.
There you go. So we can figure that out then.
That's already
The
approved.
coax, yeah.
There you go.
You guys
So-
work it out.
Can do. So I guess the second thing, weekend before field day is the North American QSO party.
Oh,
We can run a team of 5 stations, and we can't run it as a club per se, but there's 4 other people that are interested in playing radio for about 10 hours that weekend. We can run it as a quote-unquote team club
there you go.
activity, so if anybody's interested in giving that a go, let me know. I'm going to do as much as I can that weekend, but
Is that winter field day or something?
that is the week before that is the North American QSO party.
Field day, field day.
And then the following, so it's like the 23rd or whatever that weekend is, and then the following weekend is Winter Field Day. So that weekend prior is the North American QSO party. So if you want to get on HF and don't have a general license, there's going to be opportunity either to be on 10 meters, because 10 meters has been wide open, or you can find one of us that have a general or extra class license and come sit at our house and play radio on our license and get used to how
Yeah,
HF
feel
works.
free to reach out, there's many.
There's lots
Yeah.
of us.
And
Absolutely.
if you're on there and you hear a novice that's in the novice area, talk to them. Because I talked to a couple the other day on 10 meters, that those guys were in there, and I think they were pretty happy to get the Trimax. So,
Thank you, Carl.
Oh,
While we're talking about that same weekend, the first Ham Fest of the year in Colorado is also January 21st.
It's that first. It's like the 3rd weekend of January. I just can't remember what the actual dates are.
And while that's not an official club activity, if you go to any of the Ham Fests around here, you'll think it's a club meeting. Just about half of us are there.
and you buy all kinds of stuff too, even if you don't need it.
While you guys were chatting, I just had the envelope handed to me, and whoever can give me this reference,
Karnak,
Karnak, there you go.
where's my radio?
Randy's got it.
You have your tech, right? Yeah, you're good there. Any interest in HF Digital, Dane? No? I tried. All right, here you go. National Contest Journal.
Okay.
All right, and I got one other thing to give away, so we'll get that over to Dane.
What's up?
You have my Arduino, how
Thank
to
you.
Arduino book in there that I never got.
HF Digital. So here is a letter, or actually a note that came in from the Pedaling for Parkinson's team a little while ago. Dear PRA family, we want to thank you for volunteering once again for P4P this year. We are thankful for your willingness to give freely of your time and talent. Your efforts as our communication technology coordinators made everything run smoothly on ride day and really helped ease our minds throughout the planning process, knowing that everything was being taken care of so meticulously. Pedaling for Parkinson's is only possible because of the dedication of volunteers like you. We know you hold the cause very dear to your heart, and we hope you will continue to join us in the fight against Parkinson's disease. Sincerely, Laura, Jackie, Tammy, and Lauren from Pedaling for Parkinson's. So nice note from them. All right. Who's into contesting and doesn't have a contest calendar? Who needs one for their shack? Cameron, here you go. All right. Here's your contest calendar for 2023. Whoop. Now the last, I got 2. Who didn't get the ham radio outlet catalog? I mean, there's good candy in there. Here's a serious question. Does anybody know somebody who may be interested in amateur radio or is possibly ready to start studying for their technician? Dane does. Man, Dane, you're cleaning up tonight. Well, the question pools have changed. So here is the latest technician license manual. So
I've already gotten some, you sure nobody else wants it?
anyone? Going once?
Donate the library.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go to the library? We'll donate.
Donate the library.
All right, we'll see if they'll
Even
take it.
better, yeah.
I like that. Good idea.
Even better.
All right. That's it.
Fuzzies.
Fuzzies, hang on.
Every Wednesday, 10:45.
Is that the early bird special or what?
10:45.
It's like the blue hair special.
We got lunch down there every Wednesday. We have about 20 people show up. They're really nice to us, and there's a Jersey Mike's next door, so you can get a sandwich. But come on down. We just talk radio and eat tacos.
There you go.
Wednesday, 10:45 to 11.
And there's a discount before what time?
That was a joke, Randy.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Suggest that to them.
We should, otherwise we won't come anymore.
Right at Wednesday after Christmas.
Well, thank you for coming out on a chilly December evening. So thanks for being here. Look forward to seeing everybody in January. Look forward to hearing you on the nets starting Thursday night coming up here, January the 5th. So good stuff there.
8:30.
8:30. Be there, be square, and look forward to seeing you at all of our events this year. So have a great night. Thanks again. All right. Good job, Derek.